Did that happen last night? Like, did I actually watch my team take down an MVP on prime time? Furthermore, was the defense the reason why we won? Like, this has never happened before in my lifetime. But look, we're going to get into all of that later on in the week, but I do want to talk about one person in particular, and that is Mr. Bijan Robinson. You heard Raheem Morris say it. I'm going to say it. I think everybody in this fan base agrees. He is the best player in the world. And y'all already know how we do, so we're going to get into his film. We're going to break down why he's the best player in the world. I'm going to take out a few different plays that I liked from last night, and we're going to talk about them. So if y'all do enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. So let's go on and get into the film. All right, so this is the first play I want to look at. This is Bijan's long touchdown run, and I got to cover this one first because as a running backs coach, this was beautiful. So let's move this over just a little bit. So what we have going, obviously you already know what's happening. We got outside zone. We're just going to window dress it. We're going to put Charlie Warner all the way in motion just to, get the defense out of position, right? So you already know we're going to have our regular zone blocking rules right here. We're going to try to reach up there, reach right there, reach right here. We're going to leave him unblocked because you really can't account for everybody on this run. And when you leave this guy unblocked, you could do some zone reads, some bootleg stuff off of that. But what they do, which I suspected, the Buffalo Bills would do in this game because I saw them do it eventually against the Rams, not the Rams, but the Ravens. They would start bringing this guy down because that means these guys can't freely get to the second level. So that means he's pretty much creating a 5-man front by himself right before the snap. So now you got to have him right here. Boom. He has to go climb now. And you still got that right there. He's going to go reach on him, okay? And so now when we play this through just a little bit, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So you see he walks down right here. So once again, Matthew Bergeron, instead of actually climbing up there and creating some space for Bijan to run, he's going to actually be like, okay, you can't get that free access. You have to come and block me now, okay? And he's going to do a damn good job of that, by the way. I almost get caught for a holding, but we're going to leave that to that. But still, you see everything starting to, develop right there. He's going to influence some help right here and then get to the next level. Once again, all the blocks are staying the same right here. And we're still keeping our outside track, outside the tackles. Boom. Okay, so now we fast forward just a little bit. Let's pause it right about here. So when I talked about the Bills' run defense, right, I talked about how they were so successful at running to the right. And I'm talking about opposing teams, as far as attacking this run defense. They had a lot of success running to the right. And you're going to see why. Because at its core, when you try to do outside zone, what you're trying to do is to get the second level guys over committing, okay? And what does that do? So let's say he doesn't contain the edge right here and he gets out over here, right? Let's say these guys are cool, they're straight, he's straight right here, he's straight here on this cutoff block. So with this guy over pursuing, the cutback lane in theory will be right off of his butt right there because there's nobody right here. And the only people that are coming into the picture are the filling safeties, okay? Now, as we do this forward just a little bit, when he gets to the line of scrimmage, you're going to see, look at where that cutback, I can't even talk. Look at where that cutback lane is, okay? You see it's pretty much right about here. Now, Bijan, he's special. He can make anything happen out of nothing, okay? Because you see Jake Matthews, he couldn't, contain the reach block. Bernard gets off of his block. But you're going to see Bijan, bro. He's just so special, y'all. Look at this, man. I want y'all to pay attention to what he does. Because, look, he goes off that cutback lane, right? I'm going to play at regular speed. Look at his takeoff. You could tell he was trying to work on that explosive runs. Because look at this. That takeoff is crazy, bro. I got to back it up. Look at this. That takeoff is crazy. That was some crazy takeoff right there. Okay, now if we fast forward just a little bit right here, Casey Washington. Now, if you saw the replay, or not the replay, if you saw the game live, you saw he was dapping up Casey because this was one hell of a block right here, taking him out. And also, good job reading your block, seeing he was filling down. And you going, okay, I'm going to run away from him. Let me leverage my blocks, and we're going to get down on the edge. And okay, as you can see, boom, he makes him fall. And it's just a foot race. And you see he's not going to win that. No, not a chance. And you see we got a long touchdown about 81 yards later. So this man is so special. I'm telling y'all, bro. He is the best player in the world. So when we get into this next play, this play right here is that screen pass that Mike said it was his favorite play from the game. And I got to give Zach Robinson his credit right here because he actually decided to, build up on using the pistol formation, right? He wasn't really being stale with it. So before this, you're going to get a motion across from Charlie Warner. He's going to start over here, do a return motion. Cool. That's all he's doing, right? You already know, I think if you were listening to Dan Orlovsky talk about the whole pistol formation before the game, I think it was after the Carolina game. I want to say it was after the Carolina game. He talked about, when you're in the pistol and you do a run fake. So let's say he run fakes this way, which he's actually going to do this, right? We run fake this way. This guy has no real like threat to chase down the line, okay? Because remember, if we're under center, right? If we're straight up under center, let's say the back is probably right about here, just 1 yard up a little bit, right? Now he has to go meet him out here, and he's still on his same track. Now he sees the ball, he can chase down the line, okay? And then you could get your boot action off of that. Okay, because then there's nobody right there. You get your Kyle blocking and slip into the flat. That's how we scored against Washington, right? But what we do here, so after we do this return motion, we're going to have Charlie Warner and Kyle Pitts double team this backside in. We're still going to get our, our zone fakes this way because once again, it is play action. Then your guys are going to get out and then, set up for the screen, okay? You're going to have everybody setting up. Ryan Newsel and Chris Lyncham, they're pretty much going to be like a peel back. So let's say, for example, one of these guys, they were able to chase it down. They're going to get out, and then they're just going to pretty much lock the back door to make sure they can't chase it down from pursuit. So look, check this out. So we're going to get the run fake this way, right? Cool. Once again, you see what I'm talking about right here, that double team on that backside end. So everybody's, we know, okay, oh my God, it's a run, but it's really not. Okay, let's look at our backup tackle on the left side. Doesn't really get much resistance right there, but look, check this out. So I think this wasn't the tip ball. It wasn't. So look, check this out. Now, normally what I would teach my guys, and I know this is Bijan. He abides by his own rules, but when we get this screen pass, we want to set up our blocks. So that means we don't want to outrun them. So you're going to let him get up there, and you're going to pretty much hide behind him, make him commit to a side, and you cut off of there, okay? So let's say, for example, we're going to play it forward just a little bit, okay? Right here. Let's say Bijan was riding behind him in a sense, right? Let's say he's up behind him and he wants to force him back inside. Then he's going to cut opposite. But I think Bijan already knew, hey, man, he's going to try to force him back to the sub. So I'm going to go there anyways because I'm Bijan Robinson. Nobody can tackle me. I broke 5 tackles on this run alone, okay? And when we watch this play out, bro, look at this. He doesn't even try to set up the block, which I like it because it's Bijan. When you're that talented, you can do whatever you want. I really don't have any I can't even complain, bro. So as you can see, he's gonna break 1, 2. I call this 2 missed tackles right here. Okay, that's 2 missed tackles. But let's look at this again. 1, 2. That's 4 tackles in my opinion. There go 5, and then he finally goes down. But look at like normal running backs aren't doing this, bro. Like if this is a normal running back we're looking at, man, he's probably gone right about here. He's probably gone right there. But no, and he's on the what? Let's say he's on the 17-yard line right there. Or not the 17, I can't count. Oh my God, the 27. He gets all the way down inside the 20. So yeah, he got 10 more yards off of that. Like, this guy is a special player. And now I know y'all wanted Jalen Carter over Bijan, but I'm happy with who I got. Now, one thing I will talk about in the next video where I just go over the whole offense in general is that Zach Robinson called a very good game. And one of the things I do want to point out is that he leaned into 12 personnel way more. So that means we have more than 1 tight end on the field. Let me get rid of this real quick. That means we have 2 tight ends on the field and 1 running back. He also did some 21 personnel, and I like that because for him to be so heavy 11 personnel, sticking to his Sean McVay roots, him getting his own identity is what I've been begging for. And you see he's being more multiple in his personnel packages. But let's get into the play right here. So this play right here is that it's on the last drive of the game where we got this rail route down the boundary. So what we're getting conceptually from the offense is we're going to be getting snagged to the front side. So we're going to be getting a high 7 by David Sills right here, okay? Drake London's going to do this snag route. And then you're going to have Charlie Warner be on a check wide. So that means he's going to just get out wide, okay? And you pretty much have your, your high, middle, low read, right? And then on this side, you're going to have this dig and a rail. So Kyle's going to be running this basic, okay, dig, basic, same thing. And then Bijan's going to be running a rail route, okay? And it's essentially acts as post will in my opinion, because if it's a 2 high coverage, you definitely want to break this in. But if it's a 1 high, you want to, no, I said that wrong. Don't listen to me. If it's 2 high, you want to take it to the post. But if it's 1 high, you want to bend it inside, okay? But since I don't think this was necessarily an option route, he's just going to bend it inside, okay? Now, pass coverage, I'm pretty sure they're in a split field coverage, so that means quarter, half, quarter, whatever you want to call it. So we have the 2 receiver side right here. We're going to build a triangle over these 2 guys, and then to the 3 receiver side, counting Charlie Warner, we're going to build a box. So we're going to see, I'm going to fast forward just a little bit so I can show you what I'm talking about right here. So we fast forward just a little bit right here. Boom. Let's stop it right there. Okay, we're not even going to worry about Bijan just yet because that was a bad coverage bust by these guys. So you're still going to get your dig right here by Kyle Pitts. He's still running down the boundary. You're still going to get your snag by Drake. High 7 by David Seals. He's checking wide right now. Okay, now let's look at the shapes. When you're trying to figure out the coverage, you always look at the shapes. Okay, you have your square or box right here. You have your triangle right here. Okay, you have your 4/3. You have your 3/2. Okay, very good way to, play the modern offense nowadays. Okay, you always want to have the numbers advantage, and you see they have the numbers advantage. Okay, and so let's get back to Bijan. So remember, he's running this rail route down the boundary. Okay, I'm not completely sure why. I know why Tre'Davious White didn't follow Bijan because he's not a good corner anymore. Let's be honest. But let's look at this. So you're supposed to keep the switch release right here because let's back it up just a little bit. You see, Kyle is the #1 receiver right here. Okay. Now, when we play this through just a little bit, you're going to see Bijan takes an outside release. He releases outside. He becomes the new #1. He's going to stay on his track and kind of slightly veer inside. So what is that? It changes the count. So that means he has to process, okay, this is #2 now. This is #1 now for Tre'Davious White. He has to go get his eyes on Bijan and stay over top of this because if he stays over top of this, this is a sack. Okay, but no, you don't stay true to your assignment, and this is what happens where you're too focused on Kyle Pitts because you think that's still new #1, when in reality, Bijan's wide open. Now, Mike does a good job getting this out just in time. I'm glad his pressure to sack ratio is that low, but like, come on, bro. How do you leave the best player on the field just wide open? And this is a good bailout, okay, good play call, but also a bad defensive rep by the Bills right here. They need to work on this. There's no way you leave the best player in the field wide open. There's no excuse at all for that. Now, once again, I'm only going over the 3 best plays that I saw because he had a lot of good plays, outside of those 3. But like I said before, I'm going to be going over the offense in general for its own video. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll also be doing a defensive video because that defense was crazy last night. I did not expect Josh Allen to look like old Josh Allen. Quite frankly, 2 turnovers, sub 60 completion percentage, less than 200 yards. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more because once again, more stuff is coming. And also the 49ers video might be out by Friday, maybe Saturday, but you'll see it when you see it. So I'll see you guys next video. Goodbye.